Longmeadow filmmaker Fred Sokol was so inspired by the story of a local basketball player fighting a substance abuse problem that he's decided to create a documentary telling the story of this person's amazing journey. Carolee McGrath spoke with the filmmaker and his subject to get their story.
So I'm joined by Fred Sokol, who is a filmmaker, and Deveron McCummings, who is the star of this film called Reverse Pivot, Basketball and Life. Thank you both for joining us today. So tell us a little bit about your story. Certainly that has come full circle now.
My addiction started out really simple, and I'm looking back on it now, and I used to go into my father's bar and pour a bunch of alcohol into a Hellman's mayonnaise jar and sneak behind the building, and me and my friends would drink it at a young age, and I did it on a regular basis, and I didn't see anything wrong with it. As time went on, each substance I touched became, more and more of a problem, of course. Weed was huge in the 70s. I went to technical high school, and it was like a huge party going on, like every day in the churchyard. And I stayed in the churchyard every day. I'd stop there and do my business, and I'd walk into school with a cloud of marijuana around me. And I'll never forget this. I was at the bus stop on State Street, and one of my teachers picked me up from school, and she asked me, she said, "Why?" She said, "I can tell you're a really intelligent boy. You're wasting your life." And I couldn't give her a decent answer because, I was 15, 16 years old. I had no idea that I was a drug addict at that point because I was smoking every day, all day long. I had one time where I told my little brother to hold my rolling papers, and he was about, I want to say, 8 or 9 years old. And I was playing basketball because I sweat profusely when I play basketball, so I didn't want to ruin the rolling papers. And he turned me into my father, and I'll never forget this day. This was a day that I really should have paid attention to, but I didn't. My father told me to sit down in the living room. I had no idea what was going on. He went upstairs, he came down, and he had a pistol in his hand. And he put it in my face, and he said, "If I ever catch you with any dope, I'll blow your effing head off." And I remember going in my room and not coming out. I was shooken, I was afraid, I didn't know what to think. I remember talking to my mother, and she was like, "No, he won't shoot you, but whatever you're doing, you need to stop."
He wanted to scare you.
And he did. Let's roll it ahead a couple of months. Mom asked me to go to the car to get something out the car for her. In the middle of the night, I stumbled across a bag of marijuana as big as my hand, and it belonged to my father. So at that point, I was like, really?
If he's doing it, I'm doing it.
Like, really?
Right.
Like, you really expect me to stop, and this is what you're doing? So what I did was every night I made it a habit to go to the car and take some of his pot and put it in a bag and take it to school with me.
You felt this was really a compelling story to tell because now you're working 2 jobs.
Yeah, I mean, the story speaks for itself, and here I am, this guy who's also been playing basketball since he was 6, mostly in gyms and playgrounds, but with a loving father, and I'm thinking, like, where is the justice in this world? And essentially I was drawn to him. He's a magnetic guy, he's very interesting, he's got a great story, and he's also very humble. And the more I looked at him, looked at his face, as you're looking at it right now, I thought, like, this has got to be something. And it's a Springfield story, it's a friendship story, it's a story of inclusiveness as far as I'm concerned.
More than anything, it's a story of redemption, isn't it? I mean, here you are, you had this addiction that ruined your life, essentially, and that could have killed you. And
working with kids, and working with at-risk kids, kind of hence the title of this film, which is Reverse Pivot, in basketball and in life. This is what he's doing,
Why do you think this story is important to tell?
I'm feeling like if I can, like, just save one life. I'm not talking about changing the world. I'm not talking about running my own rehab. If I can save one life, if I can get one kid to pay attention for that moment, because there's times in my past that I wished someone would have stepped in and said something and touched me, like really touched me, not just said, "Don't do that," and that's why I do what I do with the kids I'm with, because I want them to know that I'm in their corner. And how I know this is working is I work in a residential setting where kids have troubles all the time. Their parents don't show up. They can't go on visits. This happens, that happens. And they blow up and they're explosive and they take it out on staff. They fight and they throw things and we have to put our hands on them to hold them until they calm down. Just last week, this is one of those moments that I know I'm doing the right thing. A kid didn't act out when he found out he couldn't go home for the weekend. He went to his room, he cried, and afterwards I talked to him. I told him how proud I was of him, and he said, the reason why I didn't act out is because I know you got my back. And when he said that, like, I couldn't show the emotion that I'm showing now in front of him because, you know, professional boundaries, of course, with the kids, and also I want him to stay strong, you know. And when he said that, like, the lights came on for me. You know, do I have a lot of money? No. Do I work 80 hours a week? Yes. Do I have some things because I work 80 hours? Of course I do. But my payment is when I have a kid in front of me, trust me. And I know that comes from what I've been through because kids can see through. Anything you try to fake them out with, they're going to see through it. They're going to know you're not sincere. They're going to know you don't care.
What do you think about the importance of the story, not just for people, you know, who live in an inner city, but you see, especially with the drug problem, this opioid crisis is just spreading all over the place to the suburbs. Why do you think his experience and turnaround is important to reach, you know, people of all different walks of life?
Well, I think it's also demonstrable in terms of who he is and not so much what he says, that he's a model. He's a person who has shown that you can flip this thing around, regardless of race, religion, faith, whatever you want to call it, economic situation and everything like that. So I see him as a person who is demonstrating that this can be done.
So you're still working on the film. You're hoping to get it done.
I'm looking for somebody to get this film done, and then I will write the book to go with it, write the narrative to go with it. I think both projects, they're parallel.
And the message really is, you know, there's more to life, right? There are better things in life, as you certainly have found, and now you're showing other people that as well. Is that right?
Hope is the word that I would like to use. All the guys I hung out with, I only know where one of them is. The rest of them are either dead or in jail. And that, you know, I look at myself as a miracle when I wake up in the morning because I put myself in a lot of positions where a lot of people didn't survive.
Yeah, and this was news to me. I just have to say that when I first played basketball at the church where Deveron runs these games, I mean, this was a different experience for me. And when people kind of took hands and Deveron said, we're going to say a short prayer, and the prayer was basically thanking God for being above ground. I never grew up with that.
Yeah.
You know, and when I heard that, I thought, like, this is a special place and a special guy.
Thank you so much for joining us, both of you. We could talk longer, but we're going to wait for the documentary to come out, and we're looking forward to that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.